Welcome to the BTG 180 Advanced Compensation Plan Training. My name is JR and I'm going to be your host again. We're going to be talking about revenue shared squared in its entirety. So remember, this business opportunity is going to be available in 100 countries. So before we go any farther, we need to get the disclaimers out of the way, as we do every time we want to talk about our business opportunity and start talking about the income opportunity of our program. And it says if you make a purchase from BTG 180, you're purchasing an e-commerce subscription or you're purchasing BizBucks to use for purchasing products and services. You are not purchasing stock or any form of investment or equity. You must actually use the BizBucks that you purchase or give them away as samples to help grow your business. Affiliates who present our products to others in a misleading manner or in a way that leads the buyer to believe that he or she is making an investment or purchasing equities will be terminated, and all commissions and awards will be forfeited. Buyers must read the entire How It Works section on the company's website and the legal disclaimers. Now, automatic translations are provided for your convenience. However, the English terms and conditions are authoritative and binding. If there's ever a conflict in the meaning between languages, the English version shall be considered authoritative. And again, I'm not going to read through the disclosure for time constraints. If you'd like to do so, please feel free to stop the video now. So with BTG 180 and our revenue shared squared, there are multiple ways to earn income. We're going to be covering the most important ones. Now, these will include the enroller bonuses, the elite expansion bonuses, the mentor matching bonuses. I think it's common sense here about the retail commissions and the retail websites. We're going to spend some time talking about the daily revenue share pool, and then most importantly, the subscription bonus pools, which include the six-figure quarterly bonuses and the amazing Millionaire Club. Now, in our concept, we break this down into two distinct versions of how you earn revenue. First is the daily. So depending on the package that you pick, this is also going to determine how much money you're allowed to make right out of the gate. Now, regardless of the package that you select, you're going to get an enroller bonus of 15% every time somebody that you personally sponsors purchases not only the business in the box, but if they want to upgrade, those additional purchases are still going to be coded to you at 15%. Now remember, in revenue shared squared, we're just going to focus and build two teams. So the faster we build the teams, the more successful we become. Now the mentor matching bonuses, this is where, depending on our package that we select, we're going to get somewhere between 10 and 100% match on the first three people, and that's going to be all the money they make in their elite expansion bonuses as they build out their teams. Now that can be a boatload of money in a very short period of time. And then from the fourth person on, we're going to get expansion bonuses times 20% of the business in the box orders. Now remember, that's on the fourth person and beyond. And then we have the daily cash rewards. This is really more of just a bonus, but it is something that can generate revenue for you each and every day. So remember, this first part of the program, known in the industry as coding bonuses, is fast start cash. And this is where your focus should be right from the beginning. If you focus on the fundamentals, your business can grow and multiply in a very short period of time. If you don't do things that duplicate, right, and if you try to go off course and try to do something, a little bit outside the norm, then the team that's trying to follow you might have a hard time. Now, on the monthly side of this, we have then the four choices from $10 to $250. And remember, $10 is outside the United States. Now, being the community bonus pool, that's very simple, because once you get two people of any subscription package, and regardless of how they've started on the business in the box, you're going to immediately be in the community bonus pool. Now with the mentor pool, remember, this is when we add a third person personally and we've done some volume. Then with the visionary pool, we simply have to add one more person for a total of 4. Now from this point, it's simply volume driven. So this is why the most average person can participate in revenue shared squared and be very successful. Then when we get into the 7 VIP pools, now remember, we're going to explain all this in its detail, but I'm just giving you a real quick highlight of the simplicity of our program. Remember, we're just driving two teams. We've got fast start money up front, and then everything goes down to two teams. The presidential ambassador gives us a $100,000 quarterly bonus. And remember, that's a bonus on top of everything else. And then, of course, the presidential lead is another $50,000 bonus. You add the bonuses up, that puts you in the Millionaire Club. Now, this second side, or the side here on the right, that's known as residual income. And that's really the most important type of income you can generate, because that means you get to make money regardless if you work anymore or not. So as we move forward, we need to talk a little bit about the importance of the business in the box package. Yes, you get all your websites set up for you, they get custom URLs, and you can go out and start making money immediately. Now if a person starts for free, they need to do at least $10 US to qualify for the daily revenue share. Now remember, they get no BizBucks, they got no reward points, but their retail commission if somebody buys something from their website is going to be at 40%. And then if they're between $10 and $249, they can get 10% on the mentor matching bonuses. But it'd be very difficult for a person to be successful in any business opportunity with no inventory or no products to actually to sell or use. You want to be a product of the product. That leaves us with the basic package for $250, the standard at $1,000, and the advanced for $2,500. With the basic package, if you start here, then your mentor matching bonus is going to be at 25%. And then of course the standard, it's going to be at 50%, and the advanced
100%.
That's one of the big reasons why you should try to start with the highest package possible. Now besides that, you definitely want to be participating in the auction to get your story down. For a person who never uses the auction, they don't have the same impact when they're trying to express the importance of our program, because remember, in the auction every bid helps a kid. Regardless of your decision, it's good that you start. You can always upgrade or make money from the system and then take some of that money that your business generated for you and put that back in your business. Now the second, and to me the most important decision, is picking your subscription package. Because if you get after this, if you get 4 people with the same package or higher, once again the duplication process, then you don't have to pay for the subscription packages. So if you go out in your first 30 day and you concentrate on the fundamentals of getting 4 people in your business and they choose the same package that you choose, you don't have to worry about any more out-of-pocket expenses moving forward. Now the contributor for $10, and remember these are at 50 cents a BizBuck, so you're going to get 20 BizBucks. And remember, that's the minimum to apply to the auction every month to get the daily revenue share. Now that's only outside the US. The Guardian for $50 is 100 BizBucks. Now if you're going to make money from the mentor pool, you obviously have to have a $50 subscription. Benefactor, that's a requirement to be in the visionary pool. And then of course from VIP pool 1 and up, you need to be a global ambassador. So the important thing to note here is you can only change this once a month on your anniversary date. So if you take a package, let's say the Guardian or the Benefactor, and you build your business really quick, you're going to be limited to how many pools you can participate in until your anniversary date comes around. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Very important decision to make in starting your business. Now we're going to talk quickly about the daily revenue share pool. This is more of a bonus. It's not the focus of our program, but it is a way to earn income each and every day. As it says here, minimum 2 customers, and you need to play the auction once a month for at least 20 BizBucks. If you've never played an auction, you're going to find out that 20 BizBucks is only a couple minutes worth of participation, especially if you like what you're bidding on. Now to initially qualify for the daily revenue share, right, a new affiliate must personally acquire 2 customers within 30 days. Now let's go down and see what that means. A customer is one of 3 things. It could be somebody that you put into the system with the paid subscription package, or you have someone that buys $50 worth of BTG products in our mall, or you can have a merchant advertising a daily deal. Now remember, we give you up to 30 days to do that. Then from that point on, you have up to 90 days or 3 months to put 2 people into the system that have done at least the basic package on the left side and one on the right side for a total of $500. So remember, this is going to be you and your entire team to do this once a month to qualify for daily revenue share every day. Now remember, as you build a team, it becomes more and more of a non-factor, because obviously if you have 2 or 3 people in your team, everybody still has to work. But when you get 10 or 100 or 1,000 or more, then obviously your business can grow at a very rapid pace long term. But it gets you focused in the beginning to do the fundamentals. Now let's start from the very beginning, as we've done through the normal company overviews. An enroller bonus happens every single time somebody joins the company and purchases a business in a box. And regardless of how you start, it's always going to be 15%. Even if you start for free, you're still going to be able to make 15% of the order. So if you don't have a lot of money, then you need to get busy, put some production into the company, take that money, and then the smart thing to do is upgrade. Now with an enroller bonus at being at 15%, we're going to calculate between $250, $1,000, and $2,500. Then the money that comes to you, now remember, once the funds clear, it's available for withdrawal the very next day. So that's $37.50, $150, or $375 each time. Now if you're looking at this on a part-time basis, if you go out and do a presentation, you could do that on the internet, you could do it on a webinar, you could actually sit down over a cup of coffee with somebody. You know, you're kind of trading time for money. But when somebody says yes, you know, that means it never takes usually more than an hour, unless you're Chatty Cathy, to go through the whole program, especially if you just use the videos. So it means you can make somewhere between $37.50 to $375 every time you find somebody that says yes. So that's a great part-time gig. now as fast as humanly possible, because this is the focus, and you'll find out the speed of the leaders, the speed of the team. You want to have a great story moving forward, right? You don't want to have a story that it took you 6 months to get anywhere. You want to be able to go out immediately and approach people either on the internet, through an email, send them a link, whatever your desire or whatever your passion is as far as marketing. Some people just like to market completely online. I'm not one of those kind of people. I'm old school. I like to meet people. I build relationships. I think that still is the best way. So when you put the second person into the system, not only do you get the 15% of the enroller bonus, but you're immediately put into the community bonus pool. And what that means is this qualifier of a minimum of 2 puts you in a pool with all the subscriptions from all over the world. See, the qualifier just means you do a certain amount of production, then you participate in company revenue. And then, of course, with the community pool, that's the first benchmark of moving up the ladder, so to speak. So we made it incredibly simple to get to. The next goal, and this is paramount, this is the one you want to focus on more than anything, because if all you do is help people create mentor teams, you can make a tremendous amount of money for yourself. Because the mentor team triggers a lot of things, which includes the elite expansion bonuses, which we're going to talk about next, and that's where the mentor matching bonus comes from, is when mentor teams are created. So when you get 3 people into the system, yes, you get another 15%, and then of course you want to help these people take the time out. As the name implies, this is your mentor team. You want to assist them. If you're new, get with the leader to make sure your 3 people are getting all the support, the training, and the education that they need. So as those people try to duplicate the same formula when they want to accomplish their mentor teams and grow their business, as you work together as a team and you collectively do $5,000 in subscription, then you get into the mentor bonus pool. Very simple philosophy here. Now there needs to be a 50% rule. So if we were talking about the 250 benchmark, the 250 package, just for illustration purposes only, it's just an easy way for me to discuss everything so we don't jump all over the place. That would be 20 people on the team, so which means 10 would have to come on one side, 10 would have to come on the other. If you have a runaway organization, you still only have to do the minimum on the other side to be into the mentor pool. And there's nothing wrong with having a runaway organization, because remember, when we tie in the entire strategy of revenue shared squared, remember, people are making money from the enroller bonuses. That means they're excited and they got a subscription package. There's elite expansion bonuses and mentor matching bonuses that are going to get paid to you. So it doesn't matter really how it shakes out in the beginning. Now with the 4th person, of course, you get another 15% of the actual enroller bonus, but this is the most important thing, because if you make it here, you're really going to shift focus and really work on your business from this point on, and that starts your elite expansion team. Now obviously, if you know more people, the more you do, the more you get. So with the elite expansion team, the more people you put on the team, the more money you're going to make immediately, and the faster you'll be able to go to Presidential Elite, which is the highest title in our program. Now obviously along the way they're going to be adding more and more people, and each of these people are going to have subscription packages, which is going to increase the group volume. When it hits 12,000, you're going to be in the visionary pool, and the money really starts to add up now. With the visionary bonus being applied, if you have the wisdom here to be at $250 a subscription, there'll be a special bonus, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. So let's just go ahead, as we said in the overview, let's put the mentor team that we have kind of to the side. You know, they're always there and there's money being generated, but let's just go ahead and isolate the elite expansion bonuses. Now this is very, very powerful equation. This is known as coding bonuses in the industry. For illustration purposes, I'm moving this over because I can't go any farther down on the page. So due to that limitation, we're going to move this person over to the side just for illustration purposes. Now with your lead expansion team, this is a person directly coded to you. So when they go out and get their first 3 people, that's their mentor team. But that's on your elite expansion team. Remember, all this is happening down, 1 or 2 of the organizations you have. So it all runs deep really fast. When they do a mentor team, 20% of all the business in the box orders are in essence coded to you. So this can be a very powerful equation. Now that's the first 3 people of your elite expansion member, right? They created a mentor team. But any of those 3 people who get 3 people and create their own mentor team, it's still coded to you. And any of those 3, they get 3, they get 3, they get 3, all of this is coded to you. Now this is a strategy that's proven to explode businesses. We can go all the way back to one of the largest telecommunication companies in the 90s that had a 1 million-man army. This was their driving force, was the coding bonus program. So it's unlimited in scope, right? So you have to understand that with an unlimited compensation program, if you work with your people and build the relationships and concentrate on the fundamentals, you can make a lot of money. So let's go ahead and give you another example. Every mentor team created by your lead expansion team, if we take the $250, $1,000, and $2,500 packages, remember it's a mentor team, so it's 3 people. So you take the 20% times the 3 people times the package. That's where the $150 to $1,500 comes from. So remember, if you go out and assist somebody to help them become successful on your lead expansion team and they simply get their first 3 people, your coding money there is $150 to $1,500. And remember, the most important thing besides you making the fast cash, it's driving your team. And so when their 3 get 3, it's $150 to $1,500 each time it happens, and there's no limitation or how deep this can go. And this is where some leaders have made an astronomical amount of money in a very short period of time. And then the important thing to note is, obviously, if you have more than 1 person on your lead expansion team, a 5th person, a 6th person, a 7th person, and beyond, then you have the ability to have all those elite expansion bonuses coding to you. And remember, this income is instant gratification, because once the money is cleared, then that is put into your virtual office the very next day. It's a very exciting formula. So let's just go ahead and do a quick number analogy, because we want to drive this home, because this is a very exciting way that people in a hard way can go out and earn a lot of money. So obviously, if the first 3 people on the first elite expansion team person you have, when they create their mentor team, let's say they pick 2 standard packages and 1 advanced package, 20% of that collectively is going to be $900. But let's say the next 3 people had the wisdom of starting with the top package so they can go out and make the most money possible. Well, then that's $1,500 on the second mentor team in that organization. And then let's say 3 people take the standard package. It's another $600. Now, this can happen with or without your assistance. The more you teach the duplication, the more you teach the fundamentals, the faster your business can grow without your guidance, which is the ultimate way a leader wants to build a business, is build a business that'll work with or without your help. So you teach and train and motivate the people so they have 100% understanding and everybody can move forward. Now remember, the whole point of this is the way we've designed Revenue Shared Squared is, as people get the instant gratification, it drives the 2 teams. And then of course for the superstars, as they add more people to the equation and they belong to your organization, it drives the whole volume of your team incredibly deep really fast. Now let's come back to the mentor team. So remember, with the elite expansion bonus, it was the first 3 of the first 3 of the first 3. But with the mentor team that you have, when you talk about the mentor matching bonus, depending if you're at 10% up to 100, what happens is you get to earn up to 100% of whatever they make in elite expansion bonuses. So simply put, one of your mentor teams might have just one, have put 4 people in the system, so they have 1 elite expansion team. So if they go out and make $500, you make $500. If they go out and make $1,000, you make $1,000. But let's say you have a second person that belongs to your mentor team. Remember, you have 3 people, and that person goes out and they personally sponsor 10 people. Well, there'll be 3 people on their mentor team, but there'll be 7 more people on their elite expansion team. So that person might be able to go out and make themselves a significant amount of money, and you match those 7 people that have their elite expansion teams. Whatever they're generating in income, you get to match that between 10 and 100%. Now, how do you qualify for all this? It's 4 people that you've personally put into the system. It can be any subscription package. Doesn't matter how the business in the box, as long as you got 4 people into the system, that triggers the qualification. Now, the most important element of Revenue Shared Squared is obviously then the revenue sharing of our program. Now, a lot of companies have tried revenue sharing, but they did it, in my opinion, the wrong way. They concentrated on money on the front end, which is sporadic at best, and then they try to compound, percentages and do all that kind of crazy stuff. This is more sound business philosophy. We take all the subscription, which is a consistent cash flow, and then we take a set percentage. So every time the company moves forward or sells a product or service or a package or a biz buck, there's a profit generated for the company, giving the company stability long term. Now, the formula that you need to make sure you understand is up to 60% of that goes into the pools, and then the other 40% off the top comes the company's expenses, and then everything left over, which could be a windfall of income for children in need. That's the beauty of Revenue Shared Squared and BTG 180, is it serves 2 purposes. As all home-based businesses, it teaches people how to be entrepreneurs and work for themselves and control their own destiny. But the beauty of this is there's a purpose behind our program, which is to help children, right? And when you take that type of cause, You can take it around the world, and I've been to different countries. I can tell you a lot of people are just as excited about helping children in need as they are helping themselves. So let's talk about moving this money over. So as we move over that up to 60%, it's not all sliced up through just the pools. We take 60% and put it in the subscription pools. Then we take 20%. Remember, this is money every month that goes into these pools, and 100% of what's sitting in the account is paid out each and every month. There's no breakage to the company. So the Visionary Ambassador bonus is 20%. You have to be visionary and higher. The VIP bonus is another 20% of all the subscriptions from everybody, and you have to be VIP 3 status or higher to cash in on that 20%. So as we go through this, you'll start to understand just how incredible this program is, especially for people who want to build it big. Now, simply put, before we get all lost in the numbers, the more subscription pools you qualify for, the greater your income potential. Now, let's just do a quick analogy. If you've been around a while, you've probably seen what happens when you double a penny a day, but there's a ton of people who don't understand the power of duplication. And this has nothing to do with revenue shared squared, but we're going to draw an analogy of the power of our compensation program when you talk about simple duplication. If we take a penny and we double it every day, by the 7th day it's only 64 cents. But when your nucleus of your people grab hold, this would be the same thing as when like you get the visionary. By the 3rd week or the 21st day, a penny has turned into over $10,000. And then by the 31st day, believe it or not, if you haven't seen the formula, it's over $10 million. So that's what happens when 1 cent is put into a duplication process where every day it doubles in scope. So remember, our concept of revenue shared squared is as a qualifier only. You know, you want to go out and get in the community pool, that's your first 2 people. And of course you want to add a 3rd or a 4th person so you can get your mentor team established and get into the elite expansion bonuses. So when 2 get to 4, and then of course we're just going to power down 2 teams. Well, if we look at the 250 subscription package, we see here down here at the 15%, that's the community pool, it took 2 people. And if we use the 250 packages for illustration purposes only, again, this is not a guarantee of income, we're just showing you the power of revenue shared squared. By the time you go to mentor, it would take 20. Visionary 48. And then remember now, if everybody's adding 1 or 2 people to the equation, 120, 200, 280, 400, 600, 800 can happen in a very short period of time if the duplication process is, you know, ongoing. When you get to the 2000, that's VIP pool 7. At this point, you would already be flirting with the top 1% income earners of the United States. Now, presidential ambassador and elite are, as they say, they're presidential status. You'll be the elite of the elite as far as income earners of any program anywhere, and it has a guaranteed, you know, $100,000 quarterly bonus and a $50,000 monthly bonus, which creates that million-a-year club. So once again, if you focus on the fundamentals, Revenue Shared Squared is a program that just about anybody can be successful at if they stay the course. So just to recap again now, community pool takes 2 affiliates. Any subscription package will qualify you. Now obviously if you add a 3rd person, that'll establish your mentor team. If you add a 4th person personally, that gets you into the elite expansion bonuses. So remember, the more people you personally put into the system, the higher dollar amount that you're going to earn from the community pool. Now from the mentor pool, we have to have at least a $50 subscription. If we do the volume and we have the people, but we don't have the $50 subscription, we're not qualified for the pool. So it's very important. You don't want to do all the work and then miss out. So remember, we had 2 people in the community pool, so we only have to add a 3rd person. So you want to focus on the simple fundamentals of our program. The 3rd person obviously completes your mentor team. Now remember, here is nothing more than volume than the duplication process of helping everybody get a couple that gets a couple that gets a couple. When the group's volume gets to 5,000, then we're in the mentor pool. So remember, the people that we have in the system is simply a raw qualifier. You know, by the time you qualify for the mentor pool, you know, you have 20 people in your team. There might be many thousands of people who've put subscriptions into the pool. That's why this program drives some people who've been in home-based business before crazy, because they're like, how can you pay all that money out? Well, it's not coming from the team that you built, it's just simply a qualifier. Now let's just kind of speed up the process, because it's not a very difficult process because we're still just building 2 teams. So obviously Visionary Pool, you need 4 personally sponsored people. Your subscription needs to be at least $100, and the team's volume is 12,000. Now without having to do anything else other than the 12,000 in volume, if your subscription was $250 versus 100, you're going to get another special bonus that we're going to be talking about. So remember, once you put your fourth person in, that starts the elite expansion team. So remember, it's revenue shared squared. Many things happen at the same time. So remember, there was enroller bonuses. Obviously, by the time you put your fourth person in, you qualify to do the matching, right, of your mentor team or whatever they're making elite expansion bonuses, and then from your fourth person on, whatever they're creating in elite expansion bonuses, you're getting 20% of all the business in the bucks of the first three to get the first three. Now here's something that we didn't talk about in the preview, or we talked about in the company overview, and this is a huge income opportunity. It's called the Visionary Ambassador and VIP bonuses. Remember, we were talking about 60% of the revenue was being paid out in those pools that we just talked about. But there's another 40% every month that's set aside for people who make it to Visionary or VIP 3 and higher. And so depending on the title that you have and the total team's volume that you create. Now, when I say total team's volume, the proper definition is organizational volume, because when we go through the pools, there's a 50% rule, but for the Visionary Ambassador and the VIP bonus, there is not. So if you have a runaway organization and you've made it at least a Visionary, we calculate the entire organizational volume that you have. So if you have a runaway leg that runs around the world and goes into multiple countries and you've made at least a Visionary, you're going to get paid on all that volume. And then depending on the title that you have, will determine what percentage that we're pulling out of both of these pools at 20% of all the subscriptions. Now obviously VIP bonus is going to be the largest bonus because you have to be VIP pool 3 or higher. And remember, it's just like the Pareto principle or the 80-20 rule, where 20% of people make 80% of the money. This is no different when people get started, and as we grow as a company and you go into that exponential momentum, a lot of people still have to start out with the community pool, the mentor pool. They're just starting out. And if you've made it to Visionary or higher, then you're taking advantage of all those subscriptions from all over the world. It's not coming from your team. All the money that's sitting in these pools are coming from the people that are participating on a global level. Now, once again, here you need to be at 250 subscription. Now, from this point on, it's simply volume. If you made it to Visionary, we're just simply going to run the two teams, and then it's just volume. Now, the only thing we have to point out here is we see the numbers 30,000, 60,000, and 90,000. So there could be two people in the same pool with different incomes. So obviously, if say somebody was in Brazil versus say Russia, and the guy in Brazil had just got into the VIP 1 status and he did 30,000 in volume, which is what it takes to actually qualify for the pool. But let's say somebody in another part of the world built a completely different team somewhere else. They're all pulling from the same pool, but they've done 90,000 in customer volume. Obviously, they're going to be able to pull 4 units percentage-wise out of the pool versus 2. So in essence, their check will be double. It's just an important thing to point out here. The more you do, the more you get. Now, once again, VIP Pool 2, same thing. It's just volume. So this would be about 200 global ambassadors. And then we noticed here the Visionary Ambassador bonus, our percentage has gone to 60% versus 50%. So once again, now we're pulling from that pool, but we're taking a bigger chunk of the revenue is coming to us because of the volume that our team has accomplished. And then VIP Pool 3. Now the Visionary is at 70%, and now the VIP bonus kicks in. Now remember, this is not a whole lot of people. Regardless if you've had success before in this industry, there are people here that look at 280 people and go, is that it? Now remember, these are only benchmarks using the 250 subscription package. Obviously, it'd take more people with the lower packages, but it's just a way to gauge how powerful this program is with such few people. Now as we go forward, VIP Pool 4, we see then, once again, it's only going to take about 400 people to be into this pool. VIP Pool 5, then we're looking at 600 people. Now you're flirting with about a 5-figure month income. We notice the Visionary and the VIP bonuses now are at 80%, and we get into the VIP Pool 6. At this stage, you're now starting to get into the elite income earners of the industry. And so that's with a total of 800 people, and the Visionary and the VIP are at 90%. And then we go to the VIP Pool 7, and this is going to put you in the top 1% income earners, at least in the United States. Now it's impossible to predict because obviously we're taking 5%, 5%, 5%. We see over here of all the money in the company, and then we're taking 5% of that and divvying it up. So obviously the bigger the company gets, as we get into the leadership, these pools can become very large. Now at VIP Pool 7, we see here that we've pretty much maxed out our visionary and VIP percentage. We're at 100%. You're running full strength right now. So, this is where a leader will go and assist every leader on the planet, because then every time somebody joins the company, it increases their bottom line. So this is a very exciting day. Now, obviously, if you ever get to Presidential Ambassador, which we hope everybody would, because obviously the more we do, the more money we generate for children. That's why we've made this program so simple for people to go ahead and generate money from Revenue Shared Squared. At Presidential Ambassador, as stated, after the first quarter of qualifications, the company's going to hand you the keys to a brand new automobile. And remember, it's not a lease program. You don't sign anything. We give you the keys and the title, and it's your car to keep and do whatever it is you want to do with it. Sell it, keep it, but it's about a $100,000 automobile. You get also a certificate for Neiman Marcus at 10 grand. And then from the second quarter on, you're going to get a $100,000 quarterly bonus, right? We call it lifestyle bonus. Now remember, this isn't the only income you make. This is the bonus on top of all the things that we've talked about. So from all the revenue that I've talked about up until this point, this is a $100,000 quarterly bonus in addition to that, which obviously if you do the math, you can see here how some leaders in this program, if they build it right, actually with just 6,000 people into the system at 250, will be flirting with a 7-figure income. Now from Presidential Ambassador, the first time you hit it, we're going to cap it, because remember, it's just building out 2 teams, and we're going global in 100 countries. Now the founder has already accomplished massive success in the industry using a 2-team type of program. We had nearly 1 million people in 18 months before the age of the internet. So, and that was just out of the United States. So as we look to the future, we want to make sure that, a year from now, 5 years from now, that the integrity of the pools is not being depleted by the first people that show up to the party. So we cap it, but the cap is so high, I haven't heard anybody complain yet. It's $250,000 a month. Is that dreaming for some people? Absolutely. But if you're going to go build a huge company, you obviously want to get paid what you're worth, right? So the ability to make $250,000 a month, right, or $3 million a year, some people will just say that's good enough for me, but we want to put another incentive. These people have priceless wisdom now and experience in our program. So their incentive is, we're going to give them a position above themselves, and it's already qualified. So you only have to just put one person into the system, because the second position is qualified, and you help that person go build out their business. Now, because there's a 50% rule, the first time that you built your first presidential spot, that was 50% of all the work that your second presidential position is going to have to accomplish. So simply put, 50% of the work to go through all the pools again. But the second time, there's no income limitation. Now, if you earn $100,000 in a calendar month, which is possible, or you hit Presidential Ambassador, whichever one comes first, and you make it to Presidential Ambassador for a second time, then we give you a big fat bonus, right? $225,000 max, and then you go pick something, an exotic car, a yacht, an RV, or home. We don't care. The whole point is we want to give you something that you can show off. I mean, if you show up in a Lamborghini or you show up in a Bentley and somebody says, what do you do for a living? You say, well, the company paid for my car, or you got a brand new home. It's just something that obviously BTG 180 will be on the front of your thought process on a regular basis. So that's Presidential Ambassador number 2. Now the third time, because you've already gone through the pools twice, and if you made it through the pools for a third time with no income limitation, we know money is not really going to be that big of an incentive. So the company goes out and takes 250,000 US dollars, and this is the equivalency of like 8 million baht in Thailand, or 10 million pesos in the Philippines. That money's going to go a long way for a long time. And so we're going to establish an orphanage in your name. You don't have to work it or manage it, but those kids are directly being impacted by your hard work. Now obviously the team that you've accomplished is helping kids all over the planet. Now on the 4th time you do it, if you still want to go to work and make more money, then the company's going to establish either a church, a school, or a hospital. Once again, that'll be your choice. That'll give you the ultimate recognition and appreciation. Now the last title follows suit with Presidential Ambassador. So every time you make Presidential Ambassador, you can make Presidential Elite. So not once, not twice, but 4 times. Now when the team's volume does 3 million in subscriptions, right, then the company's going to kick in an additional $50,000 a month. And remember, that's on top of the quarterly bonus, and then with the VIP, the Visionary, Mentor, and Community pools. And remember, all this has nothing to do with the mentor matching bonuses and the elite expansion bonuses. But the bonuses themselves put you into that elite million a year club. Now, is that a crazy dream for some people? Sure it is. It's pretty much crazy for most people in the industry, but it's a very doable formula considering the demographics we have to work with. Remember, there's over 7 billion people on the planet. There's 150 million orphan kids. There's already 91 million people in the home-based business industry. There's $160 billion a year in their sales that increase every year. So the market is there, the demographics are there. The auction lets us put between 100 to 1,000 different products up every day so we can cater to the world. So, you want to focus on the fundamentals. You don't want to be focusing on Presidential Elite day one. You want to be focusing on how to get in the community pool. You want to be focusing on your mentor team. You want to focus on the fourth person to start your elite expansion bonuses. This is a long-term goal. Now, to some leaders, they'll be able to do it in a very short period of time. But, if you're just a regular person like I was when I started the industry too many years ago that I want to talk about, this is the ultimate prize for accomplishing success. Not only do you make a windfall of income, but you make a lot of money for kids. This would be the equivalency of 12,000 global ambassadors driven out of 2 teams. Your requirement was to have a $250 subscription package and personally sponsor a minimum of 4 people. And you never know if a superstar shows up on the left side of your team and a superstar shows up on the right side of your team. Remember, there's no level concept, so it could be 27 generations from you, it could be 200 generations from you, and they go to town. You're going to go all the way through the pools based on their hard work, effort, and experience. So you never know, right? That's the beauty of this industry, is just the most average person can end up turning around and say, wow, I can't believe where I'm at from where I come from. So that's our program. You want to watch this video several times, get accustomed to the verbiage that we use, right? Every company has their own dialogue. None of this is really that complicated to begin with, though. And so remember, in turning lives around, the first goal you want to write for yourself is to make sure that you are set financially, right? Because a drowning person can help a drowning person. And remember, in this business, the speed of the leader is the speed of the team. And so if you find a superstar that shows up in your organization, make sure you plug him into the system as quickly as possible. Encourage him to come to Las Vegas and see the facility, or come to one of the training seminars that we put on a regular basis. Get them on a webinar. They just want to know how to do this. So the best thing you can do if you're brand new is go out and prospect, bring people to the company's webinars, let them watch the videos, let them tour the websites, give them some bids so they can go play the auction to see how it all works. These are all the fundamentals that make people very successful. The superstar is the superstar, but because the power of Revenue Shared Square is you only have to build 2 teams in order to become really successful, and you only have to go find 4 people in the whole world. It's a program that even the most average person can be successful at. So this is JR saying thanks for paying attention, and as always, I wish you all the success in the world. Once again, thanks for watching, and God bless.